Welcome everyone, it's your man in the shed, it's Andy P. Hope you're all well. Well, as you can probably see, today we're not in the shed, we're actually in the kitchen. There you go, there's my coffee. Happy days. Why are you in the kitchen, we hear you say, Andy? You don't normally go in the kitchen. Well, technically I do, because technically as a living, I'm a chef, so gotta do a bit of cooking today. Hold the back page, people. I'm going to do it in real time, so there isn't going to be any camera trickery or any of that nonsense, because anyone who knows me, there's no camera trickery. So what we are going to do is we are going to cook some pork loin with apple, mushrooms and a tomato sauce. Very simple, very quick. So let's just have a quick look at our ingredients, if we can. So in here, got some nice pork loins. Now, if you look at them, you can see the moisture is coming out of them. And there is a good reason for that. And yes, there we go, look. Better view with this. The reason for that is because they have been salted and sugared. So basically, yeah, you put the sugar and the salt on at the same time. There's a way of seasoning it. And it just helps to get the moisture out. So I'm just going to quickly stand it up again. What I'm going to do is something that you don't do generally with meat, and that is I am going to wash it. Why am I washing it? Because I want to get the salt and the sugar off. Generally, yeah, don't wash your meat, because you know it's not really hygienic. You're putting salmonella in here, but it's had salt and sugar on it, so it's been curing, if you like. There you go. There's the fridge with all its stuff stuck to it. Yeah, looking nice. So, literally, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pat them dry with some paper and my bowl there. I'm going to wash. Quick wash of my hands, because we want to stay hygienic if we can, because I don't want people saying, "Oh, Andy, you did this, you did that." Yeah, whatever. It's my own house and I'm going to cook it and I'm going to eat it myself. So if you could just give me 1 second. Because we need a little bit of olive oil. So I've already got my frying pan on because I want it to be warm. Otherwise people are saying, "Hey Andy, why are you putting it into a cold pan?" Because I did, and that's not that. But it isn't. It's warm. It's not boiling. Don't want it to be boiling because it's pork. So, gonna start. I'm gonna sort of a medium high heat, not too much. A little bit of oil is going into the pan. I'm just gonna adjust it so you can actually see what I'm doing in the pan rather than my beautiful face. You can put comments on that. Right, so let's try and get you a good view there. Okay, so we can see that. Yeah, we try not to show you the socks and the stuff there. So, bit of oil in there. At the moment, I am going to throw in a bit of chopping. And I'm only cutting these up rough, and these are your mushrooms and your apple. So, I want the apple to get a little bit of colour on it as well. So, I'm just going to pop that in. Doesn't take long to cook. Nor will the pork loins. They're only going to take a couple of minutes on each side. But I want to get a bit of colour on the apple. Give it taste nice. Like that. Otherwise, yeah, it's a bit boring. And I'm going to pop the mushrooms in as well. Like I say, just cut roughly. Then I patted these dry. These aren't going to take long to cook at all. A couple of minutes on each side. This is pork from 2021. Not a lot of fat on it. Don't want to cook it for too long, because if I do, it's going to go dry. And no one really wants meat going dry. Oh my word, all of the innuendo in this one is crazy. So yeah, we're going to give that a couple of minutes just to get a bit of colour on it. Whilst that happens, I'm just going to get some seasoning. So we'll get some seasoning and a bit of garlic. Obviously, like everyone else, we keep our garlic in the window. Who doesn't? If you don't, then why not? I'm not going to worry about deshellowing it much. I'm just going to give it a quick crush with my hand because I'm like rock solid and hard and all that. And I just want to get a bit of flavour in there, so I'm just going to pop it in. Fry the apple. So the apple is already getting a nice colour to it. Obviously, people have apple sauce with pork traditionally in this country, and it goes well. Try and get a bit of that moisture coming out of those mushrooms. Those mushrooms are quite old, but I actually like them like that. So I'm going to put a little bit of salt in there. I'm not putting it on the meat just yet because that's already been seasoned, and we'll give that a little bit of time. Tiny bit of pepper as well. And as I say, I'm just going to cook this nice and slow because that is what I is going to do. So I hope you're all well out there. So let's just have a quick look at what we got going on in here then. So cooking away nicely. You can already see that apple has got a little bit of colour on it. Looking pretty tasty. So what I am going to do is I'm going to put a touch more oil in there because those mushrooms need a bit more oil. Not necessarily the pork and the apple, but the mushrooms do. And just move it in. Again, another little turn. Apples are getting a nice bit of colour on them now. And then the pork. Just turn that pork over now. Got a nice bit of colour on it. It's not exactly expensive pork, so we should make the most of it because hey, it tastes great. And it doesn't take long to cook. Some does and some don't. And a loin of pork really doesn't take a lot of time to cook. It's quick and simple, and it's in real time, so let's not pretend anything other than that. So we're just going to go and get ourselves a little bit more paper because one thing we want to do is rest our meat because it's hot in there. It's not what it would have expected. Obviously what it would like to have been obviously still in its thigh or whatever, but with it pig, humans rule the world, not the pig. So this apple is nice bit of colour on it now, looking tasty. Yeah, that is good. We'll put this garlic over now with the mushrooms, try and give them a little bit more flavour. That pork, another minute or so and that pork will be done. So, a little plod, got a little bit of give there, so it's not quite there, but, pork doesn't have to be totally cooked through nowadays. This is, like I say, 2021. When you used to hear the horror stories of, it might give you tapeworm or so on, that was from the 1950s, and let's be fair, farming techniques nowadays are a lot stringier, a lot better than they were back then. So, that feels about right to me now. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take that out and I'm going to pop it on a piece of paper. Just going to leave that now to rest for a few moments. So, the mushrooms and the apples are nice to cook now. Going to add a little bit of tomato paste. This is the sort of paste you might have if you were doing a pasta sauce or something like that, because that's what it is. And we'll allow that to just soak up all those flavours. and that should taste yummy. So, get ourselves some cutlery. And a plate, because we're not cavemen. We will check the food over, make sure it tastes good. And all we want to do now is reduce this sauce down a bit, not too much, because we don't want it to become too strong. What I'm also going to do now is I'm just going to get a little bit of salt on top of my pork. Get nice and juicy because we haven't overcooked it. Like I say, this is all cooked in real time. This isn't taking a dozen edits. This is proper cooking as it should be done. This is how we cook at home. Nice and quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you over here. Some nice flowers. After all, it is springtime. I'm going to take you down to my plate. So there we are. And I am going to start to construct the dish, if you like. Now we're not going for a Michelin star today. We'll go for that tomorrow. It's just a quick, easy recipe just to see how we get on with the filming and stuff like that. If it's not any good, then it's not any good. I did do one a few months ago. It was a great curry I did. Unfortunately, I had no idea how to actually edit it together, so I didn't actually release that one, and yeah, not really the best video, to be fair. But the food was great. So hopefully you can see all that moisture on the pork, because you don't get the size of me without eating a bit of pork. It's one of my favourite meats. It's a meat which can take spice and flavour. Give that a quick wipe. And there you go, people. That is pork medallions with an apple, mushroom and tomato sauce. Give it a go. It's a very simple recipe. It's taken 13 minutes of me talking to do this recipe in real time, and that's because I was talking. But really easy, really tasty. Hope you enjoyed. If you watched to the end, do give us a like and a comment, and give us a review on your cooking. Show us some of that. That'd be great. Anyway, see ya, pals.